Hi guys, so today, first video on my YouTube channel, and I will show you guys how I've been able to generate more than $13,000 in literally 30 days on the channel. So it was for the month of June, and it's a pretty average month for CT Productions for one of our channels. It's not anything crazy when it comes to revenue whatsoever, but I wanted to make a video about that channel because that channel was really on low revenue before basically 8, 9, 10 of the months. And you can see here that we weren't able to even make more than $100 per day. And then after that, it peaked at more than $1,000 per day and stabilized at around $500 per day on average. Of course, I can show you guys channels that are working since a very long time that have generated over $1 million in revenue. But my goal is also to show you that you can get a channel from literally not working too much to literally have really nice revenue. So we'll go over this case study. So for the people that don't know me, I run the company called CT Productions since 2020. And since 2022, we've been able to generate more than $5 million in revenue per year. 3 years in a row, $20 million with faceless content overall, 5 billion views. So the first thing that we're going to see, guys, is literally the RPM on the channel. So literally what we have here, we have around a $13 RPM. And the thing that people don't really understand is that the average faceless channel, a faceless YouTube channel, would have around $5 to $6 RPM. That would be the average for an English faceless channel. This channel was around $13 RPM. And we will see also that during the second half of June, because I've implemented strategies, the RPM was more around $15 to $20 RPM. And the thing with that, guys, is that the RPM is extremely important. I see too many people on YouTube, they start a YouTube channel, they see a niche that they want to replicate. And what will happen is that they will check a channel that has 2, 3, 4 million views on the past 30 days. So they will be like, oh, okay, it has millions of views. I will start the same channel. I will just replicate what they are doing. But they don't know the RPM. They don't know the real revenue. And it's really hard to go into it without the data. That's the reason also with the students that we're working with, we are extremely careful in the niches we're going for because the RPM is really important. For example, you can have a technology channel with 5, 6 million views per month, and that channel would only make maybe $15,000, $20,000 because the demographic of that channel wouldn't be the best in the technology niche. And I can get you another example. If you check the nostalgia channels on YouTube, usually they tend to have a $20, $30 RPM. So the only two things that are extremely important with RPM is literally the demographic, so where your audience is watching your content from, and the duration of your videos. It's going to have a huge impact. There is basically several baskets. There is 8-minute videos, 30-minute videos, 1-hour videos, 2 hours, 3 hours. So that's basically how it works. So the first thing I wanted to show you guys is that the RPM on that channel was actually not so high at the start of the month. I mean, it was pretty good, but we can see that it was around, we had a couple of days with less than $10 RPM. When I understood that the channel was working really well and we had pretty good momentum on the channel, then I've literally made some changes and we were able to basically stay above, most of the days above $15 RPM. So again, that's something super important because that's something that you're able basically to get those type of revenue with not so many views. Like we'll check here, a day with 22,000 views, which honestly is not a lot. The channel has generated $363 on that day, 27th of June. So for example, with the students that we're working with, that's something that we pay a lot of attention on because me and Carl, my co-founder, we basically have all the data from all the niches on YouTube because we've been here for 5, 6 years. So literally any niche that we find, any channels that need to be launched, we always check what type of potential revenue you can get on a channel. So there's people that say you need to chase views. There's other people that say that you need to chase high RPM. The truth is you need to do a mix of both. That's really important. So the third thing I wanted to talk about is the volume. If you guys are going to watch this video and the next videos, you will see that the only thing that matters on YouTube, in my opinion, and how we've been able, and I say that after I've generated $20 million, more than $20 million, is the volume of videos you're going to get on the channel, the volume of channels you're going to launch, the volume of types of content you're going to try. Volume is literally the answer to everything in that business. And of course, it depends on the types of content you're doing. For example, someone who is doing super high quality branded content, it's not going to be exactly the same thing, but for the type of content that we're making with Carl, and I would say that maybe 80 or 90% of the industry volume, in my opinion, is the most important. So you can see here that we've uploaded more than 90 videos, 91 to be exact. So that's an average of more than 3 videos per day. And I've made a graph here. So you can see that I've made a difference between someone that uploads 1 to 2 videos per week and someone that uploads 2 to 3 videos per day. So the difference starts to be huge. So over 12 months, it's a long-term comparison, but even on 30 days, on a 30 days basis, any competitor that would have uploaded the same content as me, if they were uploading one video every 2 days, every 3 days, they wouldn't have been able to generate that type of revenue. So that's something that's really important. And I'm going to see with you guys, I'm going to explain you guys how you can do high volume, because we do high volume on the channel, but that's not the only channel we do high volume on. So guys, as you can see for the volume here, we've uploaded, as I said, 91 videos, and you can see that on a daily basis, it was quite inconsistent, but it doesn't really matter. Like if you upload 1 video in a day and the next day you upload 5 videos, at the end of the day, it's an average of 3 videos per day. So it doesn't really matter. When we're in those type of things, we try to upload as much as we can, but of course, sometimes there is things that we cannot control. For example, if we are on the weekend and there is less people working in the company, we might not be able to push as much content. So basically, the most important is the amount of videos that you're going to publish in the entire month. So I really wanted you guys to see the whole graph so you can see how it really looks in terms of the video publishing, in terms of the volume on that channel. So across all the YouTube channels that we have, we upload a minimum of 60 videos per day on average. So this is literally all about systems and putting everything in place for you to be able to do so. So the thing with volume is that it's not something really new. I wanted to talk about it because it's literally the most important thing for me, and you will see that in the next videos once I show case studies, probably most of the time talk about volume. But for me, the new meta and the thing that you need to focus for the next 2-3 years is literally your own tools. So the thing is, everyone in most of the niches can do volume now, and that's the problem. So everyone has access to public software, everyone has editors, etc. There is the software that exists right now where you're able to push a lot of volume, a lot of videos. And the thing with that is that your competitors, they use the exact same softwares. It's built for everybody, so it's built for nobody. The thing I mean by that is basically where you're going to make the most money on YouTube is when you find gaps in the market. So it means literally that you're going to be able to spot something faster than anyone else, and you're going to be able to capitalize on it. Before, when you were able to do a lot of volume, the fact that you had systems to do a lot of volume, it was already an edge compared to other people. But now it's becoming the new normal, I would say. So the thing with softwares on the market as well, it's usually very expensive because those companies, they need to make a profit. So you always pay more. And again, there is zero edge. So you start at the same level as everyone else. So that's the part that is extremely important, guys. The most important thing over the next 2-3 years is going to be the internal tools. And I will explain why for a second. First of all, you're going to be able to adapt it specially and specifically for your channels. So it's how you're going to have the visuals in the videos, the scripts, the voiceovers, everything is going to be adapted to what you want, and you're not going to be dependent on the software and on software updates. Again, there is no middleman, so you're going to pay what it actually costs to run. And the most important thing, guys, is literally the edge. If you have an internal tool and you're able to have a competitive advantage over other people, it can be for the duration of your videos, for the cost of your videos, for the quality of your videos, any edge that you get with that, and you keep the tool private, then there is people that are going to see your channels and they're going to try to compete with you. They're going to try to do the same thing as you, but without the internal tool, it's going to be impossible. And I see a lot of people, they make the mistake of, not that they are able to build things, because literally Cloud Code is doing everything for you. They want to build stuff for the public. But the thing with that is, if you build something for the public, the software companies that are already here in that market, and there is a lot in the faceless industry, and actually they all copy each other. They're just going to take your ideas, what you're doing, and they are going to replicate it. And it's going to be very hard to grow your company. If you're making YouTube videos, you should put your entire focus to build those tools and keep them for yourself and keep them as competitive advantages, because you never know for how long you can keep that advantage. It can be for 3 weeks, 3 months, or 3 years. You literally can't predict that. So again, guys, usually with internal tools to produce videos, you're going to be able to do a lot of volume. And as I said here, the winners of the next 4 years won't be the ones with the best software subscriptions. They will be the ones with tools that nobody else has. It's extremely important to understand that. And that's also what we do with the students we're working with. We help them to develop their own tools, etc. When we see processes that they are still doing manually, it can be the production of videos, it can even be on the operational side of their companies. We always give them ideas of tools that they can build so they can automate everything. So as I said, from the production, the operational, that's what's going to give them an advantage. That's extremely important. So of course, we use tools to produce videos for that channel. So in 2019, 2020, without AI, this channel would have costed around $5,000 to run, because you guys see the revenue here, but you don't know the actual cost. But the actual cost, I can tell you, it was around $5 per video. So less than $500 per month. So basically the profit on this was literally above $13,000. So you're literally pocketing all the revenue from that channel. And this is because we have AI and we have internal tools. And guys, I don't want to be very generic and just give you a list of softwares that are available to the public and tell you, okay, you can produce the same videos with this or that software. My point in this video is for you to understand that with your own tools that you're going to build, etc., that's what's going to give you a competitive advantage. So really, really focus on that. It's not that hard to build. Okay, that's why you keep them for yourself. You keep them for yourself because everybody is able to build it. Okay, but not everyone has your ideas. So that's why it's really important that you focus on that. So guys, the next thing that is extremely important is the momentum. When something works, you double down. And again, it sounds very cliche, but the momentum is when a channel goes viral and starts making serious money. Literally, you can't predict how long it's gonna last. So when I say you double down, is literally you do the exact same videos over and over. You just change slightly the topic, but it's always about the same people, about the same things. And it can literally last for a few days, a few weeks, sometimes a few months. And I've had that happen myself. So again, in the next videos on the channel, I will be able to do more case studies on things that happened in the past and where I was able to capitalize. So you will understand more what I mean by that. But it's really important that you do that and you act super fast, because I see a lot of people, I hear a lot of people, they say, I don't really want to double down because it's going to cause the audience to be tired of the videos. Guys, you're literally giving them what they want. So I'm not saying that you should produce videos that the audience is going to be unhappy with. That's not what I'm saying. Usually when you double down and you do huge volume, basically on one very specific area, the audience is going to be very happy about it because they are here for that. And when you're going to have the audience fatigue, because it's going to happen at some point, you're going to feel it at this point that you're going to have to change and switch and tweak your content strategy. Guys, something that is extremely important, and I will probably make a video specifically on that. Let me know, guys, if you want me to do that, because there is a lot of things that need to be said about it. But duplicating your videos in other languages is literally super, super important. So at City Productions, we've made more than 7 figures profit just off foreign languages content. So that should be enough to motivate you to do the same. Of course, it depends on the type of content. Not all the niches do really well, for example, in Spanish, Portuguese, French, but there is some niches, especially now with the tools that are available, it basically costs nothing to translate your content and try it in other languages. But second of all, if you have good surprises, it can be another stream of income without basically you being involved to do anything, because it's super, super easy to translate content. And I can give you an example. I used to run a huge channel in the cartel niche, so about cartel members, etc. in Mexico, Colombia. The channel was making multiple 5 figures profit per month. And then when we decided to translate it in other languages, in Portuguese and Spanish, the channels really took off insanely, and the Spanish channel at some point was making more money than the US one. That's why I say it's very, very important. You want to prioritize niches when you can duplicate in other languages. And again, we have all the data to basically know that, but it's really important to do so because it changes the revenue potential of the channels that you're launching. And guys, to show you how important volume is and how doubling down on videos is you can see on the channel, we have the breakdown of revenue here. And you can see that the video with the highest views was literally 200k views. So it's not huge. Like you would expect a channel with more than $13,000 in revenue to have videos with over maybe 500k, 600k views. But the fact that we have so much volume, you can see that literally the top 5 video on the channel only has 51,000 views. So that's why it's really important to have the volume into doubling down on everything. So you guys can't see the title of the videos, but basically all the videos that we have here, they are basically about the same topic. So guys, again, something I see too many people doing wrong is literally reading the data. Some people, they always expect overnight success. They expect that they are going to get 1 million views of one video instantly without having anything earlier, etc. That's literally not what's happening. The channel that we had here was, of course, the videos were making more than 1,000 views, but basically I put it this way for you to understand very easily. Let's say you have a channel and you upload 10 different topics on the channel. If they all perform this way, so 200, 300 views, and one that stands out on 1,000 views, you could literally think, okay, that's not really good. It's still the same as other videos. It wouldn't bring any money. But the thing is, like, this video is just a test. That video wasn't really optimized, and that's a signal, and you should be able to see it. Like on a channels, for example, if I see a data like this, I would try to get around the topic, why it worked a bit better than the other ones, and I will try to refine it. Like I've said it here, you don't keep retesting everything in every direction, you refine. Nobody lands a 10 million view topic on day one. You find a small signal and you build an ecosystem around it. So when I say you build an ecosystem around it, it should be done really, really fast, of course. So that's basically what we've done here. Once we've seen something that was working pretty well, we refined it and we literally doubled down on this. And the reason why it's important, guys, is the signal that you have sometimes on channels. So it's not necessarily with 1,000 views, guys. It's just to show you an example. You could have 2,000 views on average on your videos or 20 views on average on your videos, and just something that is 2 or 3 times higher on one video could give you a signal. But the thing with a signal, guys, is we are on YouTube. We are in an industry where everything moves pretty fast. The thing that were working last year aren't working today. So if you miss a signal once and you come back to it 3 months later, it might be too late. That's why it's super, super important that you are able to read the signals, that there is actually potential for you to go viral, for you to make a lot of money by reading the signals the perfect way. So this is literally what we've done on the channel. So guys, the next thing is right topic, wrong channel. I mean, all the channels, they behave differently. They all have a different trust score. Even if they are in the same niche, they can perform very differently from a channel to another. So I've taken 3 examples here. You can have the first channel that barely moves with one topic. The same topic on channel B can have an average result, and the same topic on channel C can literally takes off, gives you the signal to double down, and you can double down and make a lot of money on it. So that's why in pretty much all the niches I'm in right now on YouTube, I always have several channels for 2 reasons. This is the first reason, is because they always behave very differently. And the second reason is that having several channels in the same niche, it means that you're having backup channels in case anything goes wrong. You can get your channel demonetized, terminated. Again, that's something I will save for another video. So guys, the way you do it is fairly easy. You need a real testing system. So us, what we do is we test the same type of topics across extremely similar channels to find where each one performs best. Because having the right vision isn't enough. The right idea on the wrong channel looks like a failure. And the thing is, like, sometimes, let's say I have 5 channels in the same niche, sometimes it picks up on 2 channels and not on 3 other ones. So I will literally capitalize on the 2 channels. If at some point in time there is audience fatigue on one of the 2 channels and not on the other one, then I will upload everything on the other channel. So guys, I will finish a bit with the right mindset on YouTube. It's really important that on your channels, on your revenue, you don't watch the day, you watch the entire year, because that's literally how a company like City Productions with more than $5 million in revenue in a year, when you look on a monthly basis, this is not the exact same graph, but this is very similar. You have some months that literally carry all the other months, and this is what gets you to a high revenue on the yearly basis, because the only thing that matters to us is the yearly revenue and the yearly profit. I don't really care if in May or in June I've made less money than in April, for example, here. The spikes, they are very important. They are very healthy on YouTube. And YouTube, guys, you have to remember, you can't really predict what the algorithm is going to do. So that's why I'm saying here, most people, they track daily, weekly, monthly revenue. That's the wrong way to think. Channels, they don't perform in the straight line. Of course, you try to get them as consistent as you can. That usually happens, especially with big channels. But a few big spikes carry the entire year. And guys, the really good part about all this is that a momentum, it usually lasts around 6 weeks on average. So again, the 13K in revenue, I don't consider it as a spike. I would consider something as a spike when it brings over $60,000, $70,000 in a month in your pocket. From that revenue, I would consider that as a spike. But it's important for me to talk about it because I see a lot of beginners, they have the wrong mindset about it. And I've helped people, literally the students, I tell them exactly that they need to change the way of thinking when it comes to this. So guys, in our case, a spike, that would be something when we do a month at $850,000, $900,000, and the month after we do $500,000 in revenue, and then it stabilizes at $350,000, $400,000 per month. So in our case, if we make $1 million in 1 month in profit, that literally happened already to us. It's literally 20% of our yearly revenue just in 1 month. So that's why it's really, really important that you look at it this way. So yeah, that's literally what I've said here. The real spike, they go from $50,000 to $100,000 in a single month. So this is per YouTube channel. This is not the overall company, of course. This is very healthy for a spike. So guys, the last thing is execution. Volume requires an organization. So cheap videos and and good tools that are great, but someone has to execute. You need a structure that matches the volume you produce. So you need to have a team in place. We have managers, we have channel managers, etc. We have designers, we have all people you can think of, and the organizational charts that allows us to have those type of operations. They are extremely important, and we've taken literally years to build it. That's literally something that is very, very, very important to do. So here, guys, you have all the key takeaways of the video and of what took this channel from $50 per day to $14,000 per month. And guys, if you want to know more about the key takeaways, you can simply click the link in the description. That's the only link, contentsystem.com. So that's it for today, guys. You can comment on this YouTube video what type of topics you would like me to cover in the next ones. I plan to be very active on YouTube this year. So you can literally tell me what are your biggest struggles, what you would like me to go over in the YouTube videos. It can be about producing videos, operations, faceless content, beginners, people that face struggles that already have established channels. It would literally give me ideas, and I will publish consistently on this channel. I will see you guys very soon.